Hello there, wonderful people of Earth, and welcome back to my channel, Literally with DJ. DJ here, and today, in the spirit of Black History Month, I'm going to be talking about hidden figures of NASA. Before we get into this video, guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, this year, the spirit of Black History Month is to focus on our sisters, our black sisters. And due to that, I thought it would be interesting to talk about the hidden figures of NASA. Some young black women who were unsung heroes in the story of the space journey. In 1943, Mariam Daniel Mann learnt about job opportunities at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, or NACA. Mann, who had earned a chemistry degree with a minor in mathematics from Alabama's Talladega College, was perfect for the human-computer position, which was among the most demanding jobs for women of her era. She was hired for NACA, which at the time was operating 24 hours a day. They had to work 8-hour shifts. The arrangement made for a very difficult household in an era when it was the norm for women to stay at home. And Mann's daughter, Miriam, said so in a 2011 oral history interview. Her earliest records revolve around her mother's career. She says that her earliest memories are of her mother talking about doing math problems all day. Back then, all the math was done with a number 2 pencil and the aid of a slide rule. I remember the talk of plotting graphs, logs, doing equations, and all sorts of foreign sounding terms. She worked at NASA until poor health forced her to retire in 1966, and was one of the first African American human computers who worked on John Glenn's mission. It wasn't just math and computing Mann performed, however. Her daughter recalls her mother's quiet acts of resistance against the segregation that existed inside NASA, including removing the colored sign from a table in the back of the cafeteria and accepting her wife's female boss's invitation to visit her apartment. Such an invitation, crossing lines of both professional rank and race, was quite unusual for the times. Though Mann would die 2 years before Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, she was aware that her work, both the computing and civil rights actions, made significant differences to NASA's advances between the 1940s and 60s. When talking about the hidden figures of NASA, it's hard not to mention Dorothy Vaughan. Sorry if I butchered that name. Dorothy Johnson Vaughan was an African-American mathematics teacher who became one of the leading mathematical engineers in the early days of the aerospace industry. Once the US defense industry desegregated, Vaughan worked with leading computer operators and engineers, becoming an expert in the Fortran programming coding language at NASA. She worked on the Scout launch vehicle program that shot satellites into space. And she and other African American mathematicians are the subject of a 2016 film, Hidden Figures. She was born to Leonard and Ann Johnson on September 20th, 1910, in Kansas City. She graduated from Beechurst High School in 1925, and 4 years later received a Bachelor of Science degree from Wilberforce University in Ohio. For the next 11 years, Vaughan divided her time between being a homemaker and a mathematics teacher at Roberts Reeser Moton High School in Farmville, Virginia. In 1943, the family moved to Newport, Virginia, and Vaughan was employed as a mathematician at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. I just stopped spelling this out. NACA. A beneficiary of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order 8802, Vaughan was among the first group of African Americans to be hired as mathematicians and scientists. This order prohibited discrimination based on race, religion, and ethnicity in the defense industry. However, even with this order, state and local laws required colored mathematicians to work separately from their white female counterparts. Vaughan was assigned to this segregated West Area Computing Unit, where she was required to use separate dining and restroom facilities. She was responsible for calculating mathematical equations for engineers conducting aeronautical experiments in wind tunnels on variables affecting drag and lift of aircraft, which are very important factors. She became the first black supervisor at NACA in 1949, when she was promoted to manager of the West Area Computers. This work group was composed entirely of African American female mathematicians. The title gave her rare visibility, and she collaborated with other well-known computer operators on various projects. She also became a dedicated advocate for female employees who deserved promotions or raises, often supporting white women as well. Last up on our roster is Katherine Johnson. She had a natural affinity for maths, but had to work hard to master geometry and algebra. She started high school at the age of 10 and college at 15, which is very young. She graduated with honours at 18 and then taught black students maths, later enrolling into West Virginia University to study maths. However, she left early to raise a family and return to teaching. In 1952, when she was 34 years old, she learnt about jobs for black women with mathematics and computing skills at the Langley Laboratory at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, the predecessor for NASA. She and the other women worked as human computers, figuring out the difficult calculations needed for spaceflight with nothing but their brains. During her time there, she broke racial barriers, like using the bathroom that was supposed to be for white women only. One of her biggest accomplishments at NASA was helping calculate the trajectory of the country's first human spaceflight in 1961, making sure astronaut Alan B. Shepard Jr. had a safe trip. And just a year later, she helped figure out John Glenn's orbit of the planet, another American first. And yet again, in 1969, she calculated the trajectory of Neil Armstrong's historic mission to the moon on Apollo 11. Yet, unlike the male astronauts she helped launch into space, no one knew of the groundbreaking work Johnson and other dozens of black women did for NASA and space exploration. The 2016 release of the movie Hidden Figures hailed these women and showed the world their importance. In our society today, when we talk about black history, some of the big names that come to mind are Mary Seacole, MLK, Malcolm X, people like that. And for a while, they were considered unsung heroes. More so Mary Seacole. But these women weren't hailed for their importance until, at the time of this video, 7 years ago. These women contributed massively to the American space race and to aeronautics in general, and should be credited where credit is due. Thanks for watching this quick video on our unsung black sisters in NASA. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your Black History Month. And this is DJ signing out.